Hey, and welcome back to VFX Tutors. I'm Josh, and in this tutorial, we're going to start going through some very basic animation. The reason why it's going to be super basic is because I probably really even shouldn't be teaching animation on any sort of level, but I could probably give some sort of tips. So I've got Maya open, and in our previous one, we did some anim blocking. So the first thing I'm going to do is go, if this is a fresh Maya, you want to set your project, and we're going to be continuing with BO7. That's the one we didn't do before, but this is one that I done another time. It was pretty simple. It wasn't really worth an anim blocking one, but we can do some more animation preparation for it. Let me just turn it down. I think that's quite high. Cool. So I'm just going to go open. We're not in scenes because we put it in layout PV, that's why. Because that's like our pre-viz, post-viz sort of anim blocking. Because I didn't want to do it all separately because we'd be effectively doing a lot of the same thing. It's just different stages of where the production's at. So, say we've got our animation blocking here. We've sort of got our timing out. So just going to unhide my NURBS curves. Cool, so we've got our extremely basic animation. I need to update. I don't think I have the caching on here. No, I need to update on Maya, I think, but yeah. Cool, so we've got that open. So with animation, it's one of those things that takes a ton of practice, and I have not done a ton of practice. So this is going to be extremely basic, and we're just going to go through some sort of tips on how to sort of refine your animation. So the first thing that I want to do is go on about reference, and reference in VFX animation is like the most important part because it allows us to sort of keep track of reality. Even though we're a little robot, it's still really important. So I have filmed my own reference, and you'll see that a lot of animators do this, and you'll find that most animation is actually duplicates of the animator's performance. So when you see like an animated character do something a bit silly or crazy, a very high chance that the animator's done that as well, and there's probably some footage of it somewhere. So I'm just going to go create and open a free image plane. And this basically means I've got an image plane like we have on our cameras, but I don't have to put it on a camera. So I go to my tribute editor, then I go to my image name. And images. And I have already done this. It's just an awful recording of me. And I'll just use image sequence. So now you can see we've got an image sequence here. So I'm just going to scale this up, and you can sort of see that I'm kind of mimicking the movement that I kind of want to see a little bit. Mine's obviously not very good, but like I say, I'm not a pro animator, so but we can give you some sort of basic tips to keep going. And to be honest, reference is probably your biggest thing. Once you understand that you do need reference, it will help a lot. So there are other ways you can set this up. So you could set this up on the camera as another frustum, or you could set it up just off to the side. So you can see it. It's quite obtrusive. You can stick it pretty much anywhere. At the moment, it's and it's exactly the same as a normal image plane, so you can change that to 0.7, and you can see through it as well. So I'm actually going to go to my last frame. I'm actually going to roughly scale this up and position it. And you see my amazing acting skills. Currently, yeah. I'm sure they could be improved on, but yeah. I don't know really what else to say there. Not best actor. But you can see what we're trying to achieve here. So if I hide my polygons, I'll probably need to get a new camera as well for my phone. So if we just put that on, albeit it's not perfectly, we can use this to get some nice animation reference. And if you set it up on your, you can animate it around. Like, you can put it on the camera. You can put it on the camera so it's sticking in view, but I kind of want to make sure, because this is my camera is just on a tripod, so it's just stood still. So in theory, I should also be stood still. So it kind of needs to be static. So what I will do, if we just show our polygons again, and we're just going to set up. So we're pretty much, it's not too far off of what we already have. It's just these tiny little things that you want to get in. And all I'm doing now is just adjusting, and you can do this anyway. There's probably lots of different, everyone has their own sort of methods and stuff like that. So obviously I don't want to be being a bit overzealous with my acting there. So what I can do, just so it's not, what we'll do is probably key that out of the way. Cool. So if I hide my polygons again, obviously we're not in that exact same depth, and probably shouldn't be looking directly at the camera there, but this is I don't do this that often, so I'm not an animator, but I know a couple little tricks, and hopefully it will help you with your animation. And if you really wanted to, you could probably just like you could probably roto anim this, but then obviously it's a robot and it won't quite look right. Cool, so I'm gonna bring back my polygons. Let's put my X-ray on so I can see through it a bit. And so my wireframe on shaded on. And I've got the position, okay, so I'm more focused on my performance now. Let's turn wireframe on shaded off, actually. What I can do is actually go back to perspective. And let's bring, if we bring this forward, then I can use it a bit more cleverly. Obviously my thing is huge, so we'll scale that down. Make sure we're not keying it. So I'm just going to actually bring this in front for my character so I can use it a bit more easier. So now I can actually see through. So let's just hide our polygons again. And you can see my amazing acting there, which is probably not my worst, but obviously not my best. So a lot of this is kind of setting up. Has that gone behind it again? Okay, so what I need to do is actually get rid of these keys. I messed up. Let's bring that forward now. Scale that down. Cool, so you see how now that's a little bit more useful. We're treating it more like we've got it on our camera, but we actually haven't. So we're going to try and get this sort of eye line. Although my eye line isn't absolutely perfect, but cool. And key it there, and we'll just bring our plane off, so we're off there. Just bring it back, just so it's not obtrusive. So I also feel that our character might also be quite close as well. So this is something that we can cheat because we don't see. Because I actually prefer the scale of the head. I'm going to tear off a copy. So it might get a little bit tricky when sharing one screen. Our image plane is actually a little bit too. So this is just how I would do it. It's not necessarily how you have to do it. For me, it just makes it a little bit easier to sort of visualize it. Cool. So I'm just going to pull this over here, and because I'm going to mostly be recording one screen, it just makes it easier to just do it all on one screen. So with my reference, the first thing that I'm going to kind of try and do is get actually a better shoulder position. I'm actually going to go back to here. And let's bring back not the look dev. Set geo. And I know we've kind of cheated the position because of the size, so I don't really want to scale it. wireframe will show so I can see it a little bit clearer. Actually, let's bring him. Just realise it's probably because he's leaning forward quite a lot. Obviously, this is going to sort of break our position because we've moved it around. I just kind of want to get... We can update these positions. So, effectively... we'd want our eyes there. I'm just going to go through and update some of the positions. That are a bit closer to my reference. So I'm just going to go through, I'm actually going to place a key on every one where my head is keyed. And you know what, I bet you there's a, on my hip on this control, you know, I bet you there's a magic button that I don't know about to sort of do that. So I'm just pressing S, just going through. Just matching the key position, so whenever I know I'm on a key, I know I can automatically adjust both of them if I need to. How long are we on? 18 minutes. We haven't really started much. So this is not, I wouldn't say this is really a tutorial because I can't really teach animation at all. I can only just show you my basic understandings. So you probably definitely want to but yeah, I'll give it my best shot, but I can't promise anything. So I'm going to go through and I'm actually going to update all these positions. Be nice to have some shoulders in there. So I know that it's kind of cheating bits, but you'll find there's a lot of cheating that goes on in animation and stuff like that, but it's what you feel looks good. There's no, it's making it look nice in camera, which is pretty important. This probably doesn't quite work for what we want, so we'll just keep it as it was. But I will push them out for that frame. So I'm going to do the same thing. And yeah, this is pretty much how I'm going to try and do this, just by almost shamelessly doing a very rough roto anim of it. Just keeping everything kind of uniformal. Just for the blocking sort of sense. I was lucky. Oh, I just broke the camera. And whether or not this turns out good, you'll never know, because I'll just not do an animation tutorial because it will be awful. A bit twist on that, because don't forget, we don't just want to be doing our head. We want to make sure that we're getting some animation on all our sort of body parts. Otherwise it could just end up looking weird. Although I'm sure it will look weird anyway, because yeah, I'm animating it, so like so. I'm not a pro animator. It'll be interesting to see how this works out when we sort of do this ref frame blocking, and we'll go into sort of more stuff like this that you miss out. So maybe a bad place to key that. obviously a quick whip here. And you can see how our tangents are still quite sharp in places, or not really following the way we want it. So let's let's see how awful this looks. So let's ignore everything else. We can hide that for now. Show no NURBS curves. And I keyed that by accident. Let's break that. Break connections. What is that? Oh, you know what that is? That is the other eye intersecting. So I'll just quickly put two-sided lighting on there for now. We can fix that. So let's just do it here so it's a bit clearer. Show NURBS curves. And let's see if it'll play. Obviously the eyes are a little bit funky. And you can see that we've actually got, like, from our previous one, we've got a little bit more we've definitely got some weird stuff in there that we want to get rid of. So I'm going to go through and probably... So now we've got a sort of almost like a second blocking. And it probably doesn't help that we have... so that's going to be a bit confusing. Let's break the connections on there and zero those out. Those are the eyes that were animated in the blocking, so now they're not like kind of like wobbling around. Cool, let's just play through that. So I feel no, we probably want to copy this onto here. Just so, because effectively he snuck round and he's looking down as well. Trying to figure out what he's looking at. But maybe my eye line was pretty rubbish, so I'm going to make sure that I fix his eye line looking down at the ground. this off. Probably a little bit too much of a pushback as well. And you can see I'm not even bothering about my legs. So some weird stuff. It's a bit of a whip. Quite quick, that bit as well. So not necessarily we have to always stick to the reference. It's good to sort of get a sort of decent frame of mind with it. Why? Let's tear off a copy here. I think probably the body movement's a bit too much. And we can fix this. In our curve editor before, for sure, but I want to try and get as much as I can in screen. So I actually want these movements quite a lot subtler. I know it's not the best animation, but like I say, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time. Animation is not one of those things. Honestly, unless you're just like naturally gifted at it, which some people are, I'm not. So it would take me a very long time to practice animation. I'm not too keen on it, to be honest. But I'll do it where I'm forced to, but it would take me quite a long time, basically. But you can already see, just from the blocking and using the reference, we've got quite a lot like sort of fluid movement in there, so it's not just like, we've got some sort of, maybe not so robotic, I guess. We've kind of missed that. And now we just need to sort of figure out what kind of looks right. So even though I did whip around, I feel it might be a little bit too much. And the key is, obviously we're not going to see one-to-one playback. Is to play blast and just review your own work so much. And I kind of don't like how he does look up a little bit too much. I always want him to kind of constantly be looking down, as if he's searching for whatever our guy was looking for. Let's try and move that. So I won't go too much longer for this because I'm just not very good at animation, basically. I'm just trying to smooth these things out and to sort of give more of a bit of a natural. And just watching it through, you'll notice that there's probably, and it's down to the style as well, I guess, because it's a robot as well. It can be very so we do have some tangents on there. If we just keep playing it through, we see like some sort of weird wobbling, and that's where our tangents have kind of, especially around there. So I'm just going to go to my Windows Animation Graphic Editor, and we can sort of see what we've got here. So we're on our head control. So we can, and you can see we've got some funky tangents here. So we've got like a little bit here, and they're kind of not smooth. You don't necessarily always want them smooth either, but and you got stuff like this here. So the first thing that I will do is just select all of these, and this could break everything. Just select them to smooth. Now I'm going to see how that looks. Why isn't it playing anymore? Something funny is going on with my why is it not letting me? Okay, that's very weird. Currently my play button is broken. Let's save this, because yeah, it sounds like this could break. We'll call this anim because we're not currently in layer anymore. We're doing anim, so we'll just call this the anim version. Just save that. Let's see if this reset current workspace might save us. I do not know what's happened there. But what we can do, let's just get to Play Blast. Is that from window? Just not save it and just Play Blast. do not know what's going on there. But we can just sort of do a little Play Blast review. Cool, and that'll cache out. It should be fairly quick. And you kind of want to... This has been quite a long tutorial already, and it's probably not even that very good. Animations is a tricky area. It takes a lot of practice to look good, and on that road things will look rubbish probably. But sticking to your reference will help you a lot. And like I say, I'm not happy with this because it takes a lot of refining, but this could take days, weeks. But hopefully it will give you like a little insight on what you kind of want to do. Like stuff like this, you can see it's got some weird sort of tilt and rotation on the shoulder. I feel like the timing's alright. It's a little bit bobbly, but so we just need to work on it a lot more. And I would love to do a tutorial on just doing the animation through and through. This could take a very long time, but and it's already taken 41 minutes, and you probably haven't really done much apart from watching me do awful animation. So I'm going to stop it there, and probably in the next one we might have something. Right, in the next one I won't do any more animation. We'll be doing lighting for sure. So the next one will be lighting, and hopefully I've done some better animation for this. So yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed that tutorial. I know we haven't done, like, in reality we would have never have got this to a finished state in such a short amount of time. Let's say it would take days and days. There's no quick fix for this. It just takes time and patience and hard work, basically. There's no shortcut with animation, unfortunately, unless you do mocap and stuff like that, but you probably still need to fix it. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.